Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Power Hour. This is Power Hour number 10. Today we're going to be talking about the Toronto Pro Super Show coming up with a little extra emphasis on Quinton Eriya, Quint Beastwood. And now joining me from all the way across the pond in the UK, the man who just celebrated another Tigerific birthday. Please welcome Giles, Tiger Thomas. What's up, Giles?
How are you, Ron? Just had my birthday weekend down in Wales because me and my sister, we both have the same birthday, but we're 2 years apart, so both June the 1st. And to my knowledge, to my memory, we've never actually spent our birthday together. And in the last 3 years, all we've had is like sort of family crisis, hospitals and funerals and stuff. So we said, like, okay, look, it's your 50th, my 48th. Why don't we all kind of meet up in Wales or something, meet somewhere? Because my sister really likes Tenby, obviously Neil Hill country. And I love Tenby, so it's hell of a drive, 7.5 hours to get there, like.
Ooh.
But
wow,
and also we went to Neil Hill's old gym. It's been taken over by a friend of Neil Hill's. I didn't realize. I was messaging him and I said, "Is there anywhere to train in Tenby?" And he says, "Well, Neil's old gym, I've got it." I was like, "How long have you had that?" He said, "About 10 years." I didn't even know.
Wow.
So we trained there. You know, the one that obviously Flex Lewis used to train there when he first started going across to see Neil when he was like a teenager. Yeah. Zach Khan used to drive. I think it was either every Saturday or every other Saturday. He would drive from Sheffield to Tenby, which to train legs and then drive back in the same day. I mean, you're talking, I'm sure it's probably about 6 or 7 hours each way drive.
Wow.
So Zach would go that far to train legs and then he'd drive back. So that's how dedicated he was to getting his pro card that year. Because it was me that hooked him up with Neil, which eventually got him his pro card. He brought him down to an anorexic 258, which was like, I think Zach was born more than that. And so it was nice to go back to that kind of gym because I've trained there a few times. In fact, I filmed for him when I first started doing video for MD. I filmed Dwayne. He was a really good middleweight. He won the British a couple of times. Dwayne Crease. I filmed him doing a drop set from 6 plates. He did a drop set from 6 plates to 1 plate, all one set.
That's ridiculous.
And Ron, MD never used it. I couldn't believe it. He was devastated. So, so it was good. And also I've been down there with Zach as well. But, crazy old hardcore gym. I mean, it makes Temple Gym look like a 5-star hotel.
Yeah. What's it called now? What's the name of it now?
It's still the Dungeon Gym. It's under a library. It's under a library. And, it was lovely. And then, it was just nice to sort of see my family, my nieces and my sisters and stuff. So it was really, really cool. So really, really good trip. And we also trained at Ali Un's gym as well, Pacific Gym in Tredegar, where I was only there 2 or 3 weeks ago when I took Wesley.
Oh, right on.
So, and the cool thing about that gym is he's got bars under lock and key, and you have to earn the right to use certain bars.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, he said no, you can't. He said, if you got to be able to squat 500 or 600 if you want to use this bar. You have to come to us. They're under lock and key. You have to come. They have each of the bars is named. Wow. So you said you can't not everyone can use this. So you've got to be able to deadlift 600 or 700 pounds before you can use this one or that one. So it's nice to go back to my homeland and see my friends and everything. So it's cool.
Yeah, theoretically that's the homeland of all people named Harris, and there's a lot of us. Wales,
is it?
Supposedly it's a Welsh name. I don't know. So let's talk about Toronto. In the open class alone, we have the unique situation this year that there are 3 men competing who have all been runner-up at this show, who have never won the show. Let's start off with last year's runner-up to Ian Valliere. We're talking about Hassan Mustafa. So this is a couple days ago. Hassan, originally from Egypt. I don't know where he lives now. I'm not sure if he's in Toronto here. I think he lives in Toronto because that's where his wife is. His wife is Canadian. So
hang on, because I interviewed him. Remember, he was because he did Vancouver. Was it last year or the year before? I'm getting the years mixed up. Because I was really shocked that he doesn't really speak English, and he lives in Canada now because his wife did all the translating. Yep. And I interviewed him twice over a few weeks, and so he lives in definitely lives in Canada now, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I said, she's Canadian, so that makes sense. I just want to see some updates because he's a very dangerous competitor. How long ago was this? So this is a few days ago. There's the back. Of course, we always want to see the glutes. Could be, maybe a little drier, but this was not sure how long ago this was. All the comments are from 4 days ago. So I'm assuming, it's liked by Giles Tiger, so it must be good. And 4,623 others. Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks good to me.
Yeah, but you know, I read a lot of those comments, and they're all like, "He looks 6 weeks out. He looks 8 weeks out. He should retire. He should do." It's like one thing I've noticed with the really, really, really big, heavily muscled guys, you know, like Justin Rodriguez, they can pull sodium and water, and they can transform in the last few days. So I'm not overly concerned with how his condition's going to be. I think he's going to be. I think this is first of a few shows, because I think he wants to be bang on for Vancouver, if I read correctly. Because obviously, did he? Was that he won that last year, didn't he?
Is that the one that he won? I remember he did like 4 shows in a row, and I think he won Orlando. Was it Orlando that he won?
Right. Okay. No, I think that was the year before. I think that was the year before. You know.
Yeah, I'm getting all confused. Yeah,
him and Clayhar, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, they were very, very close. So here's a good progression on screen right now. 2022. There were 2 shows in 22, and then last year 260. The big full Hassan Mustafa.
He's a monster, isn't he? I'm sure they somebody said like pound for pound, he's the thickest. For his height, for his size, I think he's got the most amount of muscle per square inch of anyone.
I wouldn't dispute that. I mean, you and I were both there in Tampa when, I don't know if that was his pro debut, but that was the first time I ever heard of this guy. When was this? This was a previous one. I'm not sure which Toronto this was, but he says 1 week. Yeah, he posted this to get the hype going for this year. Yeah, I mean, when he's in shape, which he usually is, he's usually not off by much. He's definitely
getting better as well. He's getting better as well. I think he's still improving. I mean, he's actually one of my favorites. I mean, I thought his the Olympia last year was he got 13th in my head at the Olympia last year. Is that correct? Probably. His side chest was just ridiculous. I mean, he's just hanging with muscle. This guy. And I really, really like his physique. And I think he's a front runner. But, I mean, like I said, there's 4 or 5 guys in this show that all really have the potential to win this.
Yeah. So let's take a look at some of them before we harp on Hassan. Good luck, Hassan, of course. We're all rooting for you. He's a great guy. I love him. The baby must be like 5 or 6 by now, I'm thinking. It's been a few minutes. So where do I want to go to? John Jewett. See him on screen. Well, let's go to, there's John. So John was a 212, very good 212, won a couple shows, got 4th at the Olympia. Was it last year he made his move to the Open?
I believe so. It was 2019. It was 2019 when Kamal won, when he got 4th in the 212, and then he dropped to like 9th, or he really dropped. I think it was dropped to 9th that year, the year after, and then he and I think he realized he was maybe done with 212, but. I am so impressed with what he's done with his physique by transitioning to Open, because I'm always a little bit nervous when these 212s sometimes jump up to Open. I sometimes think, but then again, I'm trying to think of anyone who's gone to 212 that hasn't done really, really well. Like you've got like Tony O'Burton, you've got Kamal. I mean, Clarida's even, he's had some good placings there in the Open. He's won the Legion Sport. But I think he's going to shock John. I mean, there's a lot of people think he can win this outright, but I mean, you've got guys like Akim and Hassan in this show, so I don't think it's going to be. I mean, I want to see him next to like the guys like Akim, because if Akim really brings it, then I think he's gonna, regardless of whether he's got slightly better conditioning, you've got guys like Hassan and Akim who are much more heavily muscled. So, I mean, for me, he's almost getting that kind of like Dorian Yates grainy conditioning, but I do feel like his physique has gone to another level since he went to Open. I think it's been a really, really, really good move for him.
Yeah, condition was never an issue for him, but I think he was one of those guys who struggled to get to 212. And as we've seen a lot of times before, when guys lose fullness and muscle mass to get down to a weight, the muscles don't push against the skin, so you don't have the same separation between the muscles, especially. That's one thing that you lose. So I bet he doesn't weigh more than 220, 225 at the most, but that's all these guys usually need, the 212 guys.
I think he's more than that, mate.
Is he really? Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think he'd be maybe 230 minimum. Honestly, I think he's put a lot of size on. I think we've just forgotten how the size he was as a 212, but this year I see a real big jump up in the level of muscle he's put on. I think if you put some pictures or video next to when he was at 212, I think you'd be shocked at the difference.
Well, I bet if I scoot down on his page, I bet we'll go back to 212 days. What was this? No, that's a recent shot. Yeah, wow. Yeah, he is bigger than I thought he was. That's a great shot for him right there.
You see his trap. Look at his traps. I like his shoulder to waist. I love that pose on him. I mean, really, he's not really got a weak body part or a weak pose as such anymore. So I think this is the one I'm most excited to see because I think he's going to be the one that's made the most improvements.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you like we've been saying, a lot of these 212s, they have the potential to do very, very well in the open. It's just a matter of having the guts to go for it. Some of them just never have the confidence. They just don't. I think
how tall is he as well? What's the exact height? Do you know?
I'm gonna say he's about my height, about 5. I'm 5'7.5". He's got to be right around, maybe a touch shorter.
Once you get above, I think 5'6" really is where if you're over 5'5", I think you're going to struggle as a 212 to look decent, because or you're gonna have to probably lose a little bit of muscle to kind of get down into 212. So if he's 5'7", you're heading up towards 5'8" there. He's going to be, he probably would have struggled those last couple of years, the 212. So like I said, I'm just really happy that his physique has really flourished because like I said, it's a huge gamble when a 212 jumps up to open. But then again, like I said, most of the 212s that have done that have been really successful. Yeah.
So we're looking at Akim from 3 weeks ago, Akim the Beast, the Brooklyn Beast Williams, and always looks spectacular from the front and side in terms of condition. It's the back where I'm always like, let me see his back. Let me see his back. Let me see the glutes, especially the back. So let's see if he'll honor us with some back shots here. Oh, This is from, what show was this? I don't know. That's an ad for his
That's the Arnold Classic.
Was it? Yeah. Okay, so this was the back. This was 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I don't think I've seen it much drier than that. If that was a month out from the show, I have very high hopes for him.
Yeah, I mean, front and the side. I mean, he's probably. I mean, that 2020 Olympia, he took 6th place. That was the one that Ramy won. For me, I mean, I remember in the top 6. I remember it was him and Ramy who had the best side chest and best side tricep in the entire top 6, and that's at Olympia. So the front, I'm not crazy on that front shot there. Maybe it's just not quite hitting the shot, but I'm really happy because he did really well at the Arnold Classic back in March. And I kind of, what did he get? Because he jumped right up, didn't he? He really improved from the pre-judging to the finals.
I think he went from 7th to 5th. I think he moved up a couple places.
It was 4. Yeah, it was like he moved up like 2 or 3 places, but he was the one that sharpened up the most. Because I think we all expected Samson to really, really sharpen up, and he kind of came in as good, So I'm really happy that he's come back actually, because that was a really strong comeback at the Arnold Classic back in March. And I hope he's kind of on a roll now and he hasn't burnt out by sort of prepping, because I imagine he would have backed off on the diet a little bit, maybe around April. And, because then, only a few weeks later, here we are. So I love Akim. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He's just a monster. And like I said, coming back off that back injury, it takes a lot of guts, that. And I'm just really happy that he kind of did so well at the Arnold Classic back in March. Because if you do well at those big shows, like the top 5 or something like that, then it kind of it gives a bit of confidence, momentum moving forward for these shows, for the spring shows.
And he got a lot of buzz because he did improve so much between the finals and the judging the finals, which leads you to believe that him and his coach, Cecito, right? I believe Cecito coached him. They figured out something that's going to help them on the next round together.
Isn't it funny how sometimes these guys can just improve so much overnight? Samson did at the Arnold UK actually, because I didn't. I watched the live stream of the Arnold UK here at home on this laptop, and then the next day I went down there and I was sat with Ronnie watching the finals, and I was like, holy shit, the change that we wanted happened. So and Akim did that at the Arnold Classic as well. So let's see what he does. I think it'd be interesting to see someone like a John Jewett who's more not as kind of thick and dense, but he's got the more grainy kind of detailed physique. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think I've got a feeling that's going to be the top 3: Akim, Hassan, and John.
So here's the wild card right now. We're looking at Quint Beastwood, Quinton Eriya. Quinton did the New York Pro. I think he ended up 6th. Wasn't what they were looking for. Wasn't the outcome they had hoped for. Him and Matt Jansen, his coach, and it was a one-time collaboration because he announced shortly after the show that they were going their different ways, which was after one show, after one prep, I was a little shocked. I don't want to say disappointed. Everyone's got to do what they think is best for them, but I thought the condition here in New York was bang on. Flat, yeah, he was flat. There's no doubt about that.
Very flat. In fact, I've not really studied this video until now. And you can see in his chest and his back, he's completely deflated. I mean, look, now he's hitting that pose there and nothing's popping. Yeah, look, see, there's nothing happening in the chest and shoulders. Normally with Quinton, it kind of does. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see. I hope he's better than this, because for me, all I'm looking at is the lack of fullness in the chest and the back. And that's kind of where the areas where he needed to improve, because he's got a beautiful X frame, great legs, great calves, great shoulders and arms. And he's, like I said, he's got that kind of perfect X frame, like Lee Haney type structure. But I mean, even there, you can see in that side chest there, his chest is not popping. I don't know. So I'm hoping there's a little bit more pop to his physique, and they get it right, because he's coaching himself for this one, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big talking point because Matt's a great coach. Matt's coached, Nick Walker for every pro show Nick's done. Nick's done very well. Third at the Olympia, Arnold Classic champ. Sean Clarita, he took him to the 212 Olympia title. Couple other pro wins, including the Legion Open. So here's something that Quint posted shortly after New York Pro. 4 days out from the show on the left versus 3 days out, 3 days post show, to show how much fuller he could have been on stage. I goes 17-pound difference in 17 pounds from this picture on the left to the picture on the right. More fullness.
Yeah, but come on, when he turns to the back, the glutes might not be as sharp. I mean, they can all look good under gym lighting and feel like fuller and so much better. But if you got him under those studio lights, he might not look as sharp. So yeah, you might be fuller and pumped, but it might just be a lot of water in the muscle and kind of and a lot of loss of conditioning as well. So I'm not really buying that 17 pounds. This is how much better I could have been, sort of thing. So, but like you said, we'll find out. We'll find out in Toronto.
Well, this is 4 days ago, and this has me concerned. Unless he's holding gallons and gallons of water,
that doesn't look good to me.
That doesn't look good. That looks like somebody was overreacting to the flatness he experienced at New York Pro, and he went overcompensated far too much. Hopefully this is a ton of water, but I don't know, man. That looks like he's gone crazy with the eating.
Hang on a minute. So this is when?
He posted this 4 days ago. Wait, that says 11 weeks out.
No,
never mind. Now I'm looking at the hashtags. That was 11 weeks out. I don't know why he posted that recently.
Ron, you'll be scared there, man. I was like, no, man, you need to pull out the show, man. You look shit.
That looked horrific. So this was 5 days ago. Let's see if we got this. Is what he's looking like currently. Get a back shot.
He looks very flat. He looks really. What is going on? He looks smaller here?
I mean, it looks similar to the way he looked in New York. So.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any changes, Ron. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Quint. I love you, mate, but I'm just not. I mean, hopefully, maybe he's got a plan of what he's going to do, and he's going to peak beautifully on the day, and we all want that for him. But I just, and all this coach, I don't know, like doing something with a coach and then it doesn't go right once, and then jumping ship and stuff like that. I just think you're better off just sticking with the coach and trying to figure it out. But maybe it's just not a question of, okay, I'm going to put the cat amongst the pigeons here, but maybe it's not a question of being flat. Maybe he just doesn't have the thickness and the tissue in that chest and back area. I mean, I hate to say it.
That's very legitimate, because to say it's all flatness and flattening out. So let's try to see when this was. This was 7 weeks out. So this is when he was bigger, and this is when we thought he was going to be about this size on stage. This was a few weeks out from New York. I don't know if he had built the tissue that he needs yet. It's we're very impatient. We want this guy to fill out, hurry up, put all the size on right now. Maybe it's going to take him a little while longer than we want it to.
I mean, how old is he now? I mean, he's been around for a couple of years now, and I know we're like, give him a couple of years, but it's getting to the point now where we kind of want to see him deliver now, because he is, like he said, you look at his structure. I mean, he's got that kind of genetic structure that that bodybuilders dream of having, and he's tall as well. And we've seen like tall guys like Samson with the similar kind of similar kind of structure in a way. In some ways, I mean, Quint is even more blessed in terms of structure maybe than Samson. They've got the tiny little waist, and there's no. In terms of that, but he's not, Samson has delivered, whereas Quint is kind of every year is falling a little bit short. So, I mean, what do you think, Ron?
Well, if you want a coach that can put size on you, I think we both know the man to see. A certain Serbian named Milos Šaršev. I mean, really, if that's what he needs, because Matt got him in condition. I don't think Quinton has an issue getting into condition. He just he looks bigger here, but this was deep, dark off season. This looks like start of prep. But that's, you can't expect all this size to be still there when you take all the fat off. This was, the legs look nice and hard, but you can see the upper body's holding a significant amount of fat still compared to
the front double bicep is absolutely sensational. I mean, it's one of the best front double biceps in the industry, I think. But that's 22. That's 2022. That. So
this was 2021.
Great legs, great calves, beautiful shoulder to waist ratio, nice wide shoulders. I just want to see more chest and back on him. I think I don't know whether he just needs to switch it up or switch his training. Where I don't know whether I'm just assuming maybe he's doing too many machines and needs to get onto some heavy barbell rows. But I just think imagine like another 10 pounds on that. Well, in the upper body, but really focused on that chest and back. I mean, he would just look absolutely sensational. I mean, imagine him with a Lee Haney back. I mean, he just and that's a tall order, but he'd look crazy with that structure.
Yeah, I mean that from the front, I thought he looked great from the side. Yeah, he could use the chest doesn't look bad there, but the back, especially when he hit that rear lat spread, I was like, oh no, it flattens out. There's not enough thickness yet, so he's still a work in progress. I know he's not even 30 yet. I want to say he's like 27, 28, somewhere in that age range. So he still has time, but yeah, time goes by quick.
Yeah,
every year you get a year older. So. Next up, I want to talk about Tim Budesheim from Germany. Tim, I saw at New York Pro a couple weeks back, looking fantastic. Condition was bang on. He's been in the I think he's been in the U.S. this whole time. I don't think he went back to Germany because I've been seeing shots of him down in Tampa, MI40 gym, Ben Picolsi's gym, training with this guy. You've met him once or twice, Kamal El Garni. What do you think about Tim's chances here in Toronto? Giles, can you hear me?
Yeah. No, Tim. I feel bad for Tim. I feel bad for Tim because he went to the New York Pro and he wasn't. I kind of looked absolutely sensational. He put a lot of size on. His legs were even bigger. I don't know. He's gonna have his work cut out here. I think I'd love to see him make top 5 here because he's consistently coming back. He's making improvements. He's not afraid to travel. He's not afraid to go. But I think he's just coming in too heavy. Like, to me, I've seen him really, really crisp. I've seen him much, much more separated than this. I mean, look at the lower pec line, the glute ham, tie in there. It looks blurry. It looks like he's going by the scale too much. That's what I personally think. So I'd like to see him drop. I think even dropping 2 or 3 kilos would really, really improve his physique because I've seen him absolutely bang on. And I know I keep going on about the bloody 2017 San Marino, but I'll tell you what, he like the detail in his lats. It was one of the talking points of the shows. And I've never seen that in him since. So, but he's obviously enjoying himself. He's out in America. He's been training at MI40. He's been training with Kamal. He's been doing collaboration videos, and he's obviously having a great time. But yeah, I just hope he. I hope hope he does the M Pro in a couple of weeks because I think I'd like to see him do a couple, maybe the show in Italy. I mean, there's going to be some good heavy hitters there, but yeah, good on him for doing more shows. It's just a shame that they still don't have the point system because with the point system, here's somewhat. See, look, the pec line there. See, it's blurry. Yeah. You can see it there. You can just see him there, and he's tanned up, so it's not like he's a week out. So I think he's coming in too heavy, man. I think he needs to drop a couple of kilos. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt. It's people worry about coming in too light, too flat, too this or that, but somebody like that, he's got good amount of size. He's never going to be as huge as an Akim or a Hassan anyway. So why not play to your strengths? If you can outcondition those guys, why not?
I hate to say it, Ron, but it looks like an insulin look to me.
Yeah, well, see, this is a better video. The last video that he posted, he had done some filtering too. This is the pure Gilco footage, the industry standard.
He's lost his detail. He's got a little bit of size. I mean, the legs are bigger as detail. But if you look at the rest of his physique and compare to how he looked a few years ago, to me, he's lost detail. And to me, and especially with the the waist is really having to sort of keep it tight. To me, that's an insulin look where the waist looks like, see that there's a bit of there's a bit of thickness going on in the waist and distension and stuff. And I know he's doing a good job of keeping it in, but to me, it looks like he's been doing the insulin, which obviously maybe has put a bit of size on. I might be completely wrong here, but this is just my educated guess.
Well, you've been around a while, so I think your educated guesses tend to be bang on a good amount of the time. So now I got to give some love to a local guy. I did Nate Spear.
Oh, cool.
From Massachusetts, or is he actually from New Hampshire? I get confused sometimes. They're like our little brother state up to the north. That was deep dark off season. Take a look at some current stuff from Nate. He's down in so this was last year's New York Pro, I think.
He was top 6 last year, wasn't
he? Yeah. He's down at MI40 Gym too. He's actually living down there now. We always lose all our best guys to like Florida and Las Vegas.
A bloody gym. I mean, I bet you feel inadequate if you're training there. And you got like Derek Lunsford and Nate and Kamal and all these bodybuilders visiting. It seems to be like the gym of the East Coast, isn't it? You know, the sort of the MI40. I mean, it must be. You know, you got Rachel
Daniels,
Rachel Daniels. You said Davis there. Rachel Daniels, you know, and you've got he's just.
Doesn't Ruffin train there too, or no?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's just I've lost. You know, you lose track of how many bodybuilders train at that gym. But I wonder what's so great about it. I know Ben Pekulski owns it, but surely the equipment can't be so much better than everybody else's. I mean, it looks like a good gym, but it doesn't. It's
I trained there after. Or during the Tampa weekend, I don't know, 2 or 3. I think it was like 3 years ago. It does have some pretty unique equipment.
Okay, cool.
It's nothing like, you know. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, I have to go down there. I wouldn't like fly down to Tampa just to train there. Yeah, see, Nate. This was a little more.
But sometimes some of the best gyms aren't all necessarily the biggest. Like I was at that Pacific Super Gym in Wales where Aliun runs it, and I took Wesley there. And it wasn't the biggest gym, and he said this in terms of equipment. He said, this gym is actually the best, but it's not the biggest. So sometimes you can have a gym absolutely colossal, but the equipment is just mostly junk because there's nothing's individually hand-picked by the owner. So someone like Ben Pekulski, very big on biomechanics and stuff like that, you know, probably really handpicks each piece, you know, or maybe because sometimes they even get stuff like, you know, handmade now, you know, and sort of specifically made to their specifications. But I tell you what, Nate's back looks a lot bigger here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he still needs a little more back. Some more chest for sure.
Yeah, he's delt dominant, isn't he?
Delts and quads. Got great quads.
Yeah, I like his shape. I like Nate. I like Nate as a guy, and I like his physique because he's very, very well balanced. And those guys always kind of, if they keep bringing the conditioning, they always kind of sneak through into the top 5, top 6 at every show. You know, because I mean, look at him there. You can't really pick out. I mean, yeah, you could use a little bit more chest thickness, but he looks great in that shot because he's everything looks balanced. It looks detailed. He's very, very consistent with his conditioning, and I could see him. I could see him being a top 6 guy this weekend. Yeah,
I mean, we were talking about condition. I was on Xavier's podcast, Desktop. We're going to be on that next week together. We talked about that at one point. That was a talking point: is condition. How much should it really matter? Because some guys show up like 85%, 90%. They never show up at 100%. Should they always be beating these other guys? And of course, condition's one factor out of many. But you and I, we're both snobs. You got to be in shape.
No, you know me. I'm a conditioning snob, and I'm not. I'm certainly not going to change that now because that for me is what makes bodybuilding sporting. That's what makes. I call it the great equalizer because when I was competing, I knew I was never going to be the biggest on stage in any lineup I was in, but I knew I could do everything I could to get in condition, and that's the sporting element over those 12 weeks because you think, okay, I'm going to go up against guys with arguably better genetics, going to be bigger guys, but are they going to be able to bring the conditioning? You know, we've seen it many, many times with guys with beautiful physiques, beautiful genetics, and then you get someone like a Phil Heath or a Ronnie Coleman that brings genetics, hard work, hard conditioning, and they're just a sight to behold. So for me, you know, you're asking the wrong guy if you don't think conditioning is an issue. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. We're now looking at Robin Strand, a local guy from the Toronto area. Awesome. He was 4th place at this show last year, so he's been making his way up. This is New York Pro. I believe he was 5th place, 6th place.
He did well. I remember him doing well. I remember he did quite well last year, actually. I remember interviewing him for Global, and a really interesting guy to speak to as well. He talked about eating disorders and stuff like that, and have you seen how big he went in the off season?
Yeah, I've seen him in the off season. I think I sat next to him, and he was he was like 300 pounds or something. He was bulked up. He was in a tank top. I was like, geez, because he was like squeezing me out of my chair.
But he really bulked up, and you could see his face was like, this guy really enjoys his eating.
Yes.
So, I saw an update the other day, and because I didn't realize he was competing, and I saw an update, and I was like, wow, this.
There you go. Look at that.
I know, but he obviously was really, really hard to come down from those kind of high body weights. That's obviously what works for him and how he likes to prep. Right. So good on him. Yeah, I like Robbie. He's a cool guy, and I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. Good luck, Robin. Let's look at a couple more guys from the Open. So from, I believe, Australia.
Ow.
You all right? What happened?
Yeah, his shoulder's still knackered. I'm getting an MRI on it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I think I've definitely torn it. I've definitely torn the supraspinatus. That's what the physio thought, but like 3 months on, it's still bad, and I can't train chest or shoulders. So,
sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. As someone who I'm in shoulder pain every day, so I feel you.
I just have to double up on. All I can train is back, arms, and legs. So I'm just doubling up all the time. So I'm getting some really good sessions in there anyway.
It's always a silver lining. So we're looking at Sam Pearce from Australia. Mm-hmm. He was in New York. I saw him there. 11th place. So taller guy.
Sorry, the Cali. Cali was 11th.
Cali, correct. Yeah, this shot's here from California Pro. Yeah, bigger guy, needs a little more legs to balance out that width up top. But came in shape. Wish him the best.
Yep, good conditioning, tall guy. He's on his way. So finally made his pro debut because obviously he's been meaning to do that for a few years now. So he's off to a good start. And he's a good second call out guy. So there's a good starting point for him. Yeah,
there's a good look at the second call out with him, Dorian Haywood, Tim Budesheim, and Joseph Kvet.
That Cali was incredible.
That was a good lineup.
The lineup. They're right through to even the whole top 15 was impressive. Normally you get like in these kind of mid-level shows, you might get the first 4 or 5 guys that are good, and the rest kind of drops off. But the second call out, all those guys were good names, all brought good condition, and that was a really, really deep show, that one.
Now this guy may or may not show up. We're talking about Andrea Presti from Italy. He does fully intend to come to compete. However, he came down with an intestinal virus. He's been struggling with that the past couple of days. So him and Mauro Sassi, they're going to decide by tomorrow. We're speaking on Monday. By Tuesday, he will make his final decision whether or not he feels good enough, looks good enough to come all the way over and compete.
For what it's worth, if he's having those kinds of issues, I would pull out. He's a European guy. We've got tons of European shows. We've got the Impro Classic in 2 weeks. We've got Italy. We've got a ton of shows. If he's got something going on, with his health or whatever, don't put yourself through the stress. Don't fly out. I don't know whether is he in Toronto or is he still in Europe now? Or
I sounded to me like I believe he's still in Italy.
Yeah, I would stay there. Try and get over whatever this is, and whether it's something he can get over in like a week or so. And I would basically just gear up for. There's nothing to prove by coming over here and doing this show. I don't know whether he can beat guys like you got Hassan, John Jewett and stuff. He's better off just resting up and then just doing 3 or 4 European shows if that's his goal. Portugal, we've got Portugal as well. He's won that before. Is it twice? I think he's won that now.
Yeah.
I would just I'd shut it down. Not shut it down, but I would. Like I said, get over this issue and then go do one of these European shows. There's nothing to prove. Nothing to prove by doing this.
Nothing proven. If it's a case where I have to do this show or there's no more shows. Yeah. If we were like a few weeks out from the Olympia and it was either this or there's no way you're qualifying. But he's got a lot of options. So
yeah. You spoil. I really admire the guys like Tim Budesheim and Andrea that kind of want to go over compete in America. Because like I said, on last episode, like Lewis Breed did that. He did Texas and Tampa, and it really paid off for him. He really made a name for himself. Got 2 good placings. That even if he'd have got those same placings in shows in Europe, would he have got so much attention and been noticed as much? Probably not.
Right.
But so with Andrea, he's incredible. He's done the Olympias. He's done like 2 Olympias. He's won multiple pro shows. Look at that frontal bicep. That's an incredible shot. That's incredible. He's really come a long way, Andrea. Actually, he's very. He's a very fierce competitor. He's always, he's a big guy. What does he compete? 125 kilos, I think he competed at. So it's like 275. He's got a small waist. He's he's a constant improver because he's a really hardworking guy. He's one of these guys. He said to me, he said, "Oh yeah," he says, "low carbs for me is like 800 grams or something." He said on 300 or 400 grams of carbs, he's like really struggling. So he's a high carb guy. He said he needs to kind of him and Maro have figured out that how his body that he needs very, very high carbs to sort of just to sort of maintain and sort of maintain body weight and size and grow. Because I love his physique. I think he's incredible.
Yeah, and like I said, the Olympia qualification is what they're all chasing, and it would be very tough for him here. Not say it couldn't happen. It could happen, but Hassan, John, Akim, Quinton, Tim, they're all gunning for that one spot.
He could beat Tim. He could beat Quint.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Actually, at his best, he would be a front runner. I think he would be a front runner because I think he's Hassan wouldn't blow him away. John Jewett wouldn't blow him away. I was thinking then, he's like he'd be a legit top 3 guy here, I think. And we haven't seen this new version of John Jewett to see how he would look next to Andrea here. So I wouldn't, he wouldn't. And he's not. And the thing is, he's not small. He's a really, really. When you see him on stage next to the other guys, we saw it at the Olympia in 22. Like his shoulder width, his delts, and his back. I mean, he's not. You think he's one of the. Maybe in our head we kind of have him as one of the smaller, more or shredded guys, with a nice shoulder to waist. But when you see him next to some of the other guys like Akim and stuff like that, you realize actually how bloody huge he is. So, and like I said, he's one of these guys that constantly improves. So, yeah, he would. I think he would. Maybe I suppose maybe he should compete in Toronto if he's going to be okay. But
that's a big if. That's a big if.
Like I said, if there's some issue, then I would probably, I'd probably, exactly,
I've had I've suffered. We've all. I mean, I think everyone watching has had intestinal virus, and that means you're not eating, you're getting dehydrated, you're pooping, 10 times a day. Typically, that's what an intestinal virus entails. So for physique, that can do disastrous things. It's hard to bounce back from that within less than a week's time. If he's still feeling bad now and the show's less than 6 days away, I'd pull the plug.
I'd go to Italy and say Portugal. Try and go get your qualification and a repeat win in Portugal because that's because thing is, don't forget it's a long way to travel if you're not feeling good as well. If you're feeling like shit, and you've got something going on like that, why put yourself through that just to sort of come in at 80% and not win? Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's there's names there that that he is definitely going to beat. So I'd leave this one.
Right on. All right. Well, that's our discussion of the Open. Let's just talk about a couple of the 212 guys. I want to start out with a youngster, 21 years old. Is that right? Can that possibly be right?
Esteban.
This is Fuqueno Pro Esteban Fuqueno Bravo. This is Patrick Tour's kid, not his child. He's not his actual son. 21
Grandson.
Years old, and this is going to be his pro debut. Talk about it. Talk about exciting pro debut. Look at that. This kid is.
He's awesome. This guy. He jumped on because I obviously Patrick's a good friend of mine. I was following his feed, and I went, Patrick. I said, who the hell's this guy? I messaged him. I WhatsApped him, and I said, this kid's incredible. So, I mean, if he's not going to be like a winner this year, I mean, this is someone at 21, who's already this good. Doesn't matter if he just looks good on Instagram. I mean, I think he's going to look pretty good on stage. I mean, here's a guy to keep an eye out for the future because he is. I mean, look at that. Look at this. Look at that, Maron. I mean, this kid's incredible. Incredible.
I'm thinking if he's 212, he must be about 5'2" or 5'3".
Yeah. 21, man. 21.
I'm not disparaging him. I think this kid looks fantastic.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm excited to see what he brings actually in Toronto.
Yeah, so wishing him the best. Yeah, pro debuts are always exciting. 21 years old. Wow, that is amazing.
He's got nothing to lose, is he? He's got nothing to lose. He's 21. So even if he doesn't win and he gets second or third or fourth or whatever, he's going to make a statement because I'm going crazy about this kid. He's absolutely amazing. So I'm just, yeah, the quads are amazing. And I love that when he lifts his arms up, the flare in his lats, from the tight waist and stuff like that. Stripy delts. This kid is, Yeah, I'd just be interested to know how close he is to the 212, because if he's got a few pounds to go, then over the next couple of years, it's going to be very excited to see what this guy brings.
Yeah. So good luck. Good luck, Esteban. Is he from Spain? I'm assuming. It's hard to say. One of those countries.
Colombia, is it? Or
yeah, you're probably right. It's hard to. Patrick works with people from literally every country. So here's a guy I'm excited to see again. Haven't seen him in a couple of years. This is Cody Drobot.
Yeah.
Rhymes with robot. This looks like a guest posing or something he was doing here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cody, I saw him a couple of years ago at the Texas show take second to Kareth Baggio. Vancouver, he took second that year as well. Tampa, this is all 2022. He did 3 shows. Tampa Pro, he was 4th in the 212. Very, very consistent look on this guy. Conditioning. I just wish he would compete a little bit more and get his name out.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same, because I don't know, maybe he's I don't know, maybe he's got kids or a job or whatever, or maybe he's got a business or something that maybe means he can't. Like that Joseph, the Joseph Kvet, he's a farmer and he can only compete at certain times of the year. Maybe it's a situation kind of like that where, was Neil? So,
yeah, looks like he's got a decent coach here.
Yeah, Neil Hill. Yeah, well, Neil raves about him, and I spoke to Neil about him, and a couple years ago, I was like, is this one of those guys that kind of looks amazing on Instagram? And then he gets up there and he did when he came out on stage, he delivered. His physique does translate. I really like, he's got a very eye-catching physique. He's got nice aesthetics. Neil's, he's going to be conditioned, because Neil, what Neil's like with the conditioning.
Yes.
But he's very complete, very well put together. For me, this guy's the front runner. I think from what I've seen, I saw this update the other day. Somebody was saying he needs more legs, but the legs look pretty good to me. They don't look like, he's just, they look pretty in proportion.
Exactly.
I would say he's the front runner. I think it's going to be, look at that front lat spread. Wow. There's no gap. Look, very little gap between the forearm and the lat. I love that.
Yeah, beautiful shape. No, not as good. He's not as massive as a couple of the other guys, but you know what? It's not just about raw mass. He's got the aesthetics wrong. He's got the nice lines. Everything flows. Look at that. It's a really, really pleasing physique, that, mate. I really rate this guy. And like I said, I wish he would compete more. Maybe he will now.
Yeah.
I hope. Think about it, Cody.
I think he'll qualify for the Olympia this year. I'll put money on it.
Well, this show here, there's a few good names, but I think he's got a great shot to win the 212 here.
Yeah, I do.
Let's take a look at just a couple more guys.
Good job, Neil.
Good job. Yeah, Neil knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
So who was I looking for? Quint Beastwood, Zagarella. Ah, yes, Christian Zagarella. Sorry, Ron. Sorry to interject. Can I just quickly throw a little story at you quickly? Of course.
I was training at Neil's old gym, the Dungeon, like I said at the start.
Yep.
I tell you how up on the notice board they had the results from the 1997 Mr. Olympia written down on hand paper, nailed to the board. I took a photo of it. I'll send it to you. Literally, first place Dorian Yates, second place Nasser El Sabati, and I was just like, that's how often this gym. It was so good. I was like, literally, it's like walking back in time. It was sorry, I was just little thing.
No, that's
just made me laugh. I'll have to send that to Neil and say, Neil, do you? Yeah, as you left it, mate.
You, me, and Mike have talked about the old days. We used to call gyms up because there was no internet. The morning after the Olympia or whatever, we'd call like a local gym. Do you guys have the top 5 or the top 10 of the Olympia? And they would keep a list by the telephone because they knew people would be calling, and they would give you the results of the Olympia. So there's Christian, man. Very, very, he impressed me a lot in New York.
Wow.
Wasn't on my radar, to be perfectly honest with you.
He was classic before, wasn't he?
Yeah, he moved up from classic. He's got a good coach, Mauro. Great coach.
I think, I'm not going to take it back, but I think that's going to be Cody's main competition, because he looked absolutely sensational. I love his legs. In fact, I saw him he was classic at was it Prague? Was it Prague last year or the year before when I was doing the live stream commentary? And he absolutely blew my socks off. He's really impressive in the flesh. And look at him. This was another one. This was a really wise move, moving up, switching divisions, because it seems to have really worked for him. This guy's awesome. This guy's awesome.
Yeah, there's a good. He's up on the top. He's showing the late George Peterson there. Oh, yeah, awesome. a lot of guys in classic, you could tell if they just filled out, they would be grade open or 212, depending on how.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time, did he, Zagarella? I mean, he's good. He's really good. I think there's another guy that will be at the Olympia this year. I definitely see him getting a win. There, look, there's Prague. That was it.
Oh yeah, look at those quads. Yeah. Look at that.
No, look at the frontal bicep. Look at the vacuum. Look at how well put together he is in that first pose. That first pose he hits. Look at it. So well put together.
Wow. Giuseppe. I keep calling him Christian because that's my son's name. That must be I think that's his middle name. Yeah, it's Giuseppe Christian Zagarella.
Very impressive.
Yeah, he's not missing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a front runner too. I mean, I wouldn't. Cody and Esteban are both going to have to deal with him for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a top three. And the thing is, you don't know, some of these other names, these other new names. Because I mean, funny enough, it seems to be the Toronto Pro where all these updates have been coming through on my Instagram feed and all these different bodybuilding pages. And almost all the ones I'm going, wow, was the 212 in the Classic. Sorry, the 212 in the Toronto. I was really. There's been quite a lot of new faces. I'm like, who's this guy? And it's like, oh, he's doing Toronto. So I think all the divisions are really going to be really quite well contested this year.
Yeah, I didn't have the list for Classic, guys, so I apologize. I'll probably do a little live or something at the end of the week with people that I didn't know were in the show yet. So let's take a look at one last competitor in the 212 division from Australia. Where is Aaron? I know I had it here somewhere. Come on, Ron. Antonio Burton. Aaron Polides. You see it there?
Oh, cool. Aaron.
Oh, there we go. Aaron Polides. I'm probably saying his name completely wrong. So Aaron was in New York. He got 9th place, but condition was right there. Oh, this is an older show. Oh, that was backstage at Olympia.
Yeah, that was he did Olympia a few years ago. I think that was 2019 he did the Olympia, was it? 2018, 2019, 2020?
You're good. You're better with dates than me, but it's not even close how much better you are.
I think that's the 2019 Olympia. Hang on, it'll say on by his leg there.
Okay.
You can see, is that 2020? 2019, there, look, by there. Up there, back. There you are. See, look, you can see the year. You can see the year if you zoom in.
You're good, man. You could be a detective. No, I always go up top. It says 246 weeks ago. I'm like, oh man, what was that? How many years ago was that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2019. I think it was 2019. He hasn't competed since. So I think he said he was disappointed with his 9th place. But it's just nice to see him back up there, because he's, like I said, the Australian guys really struggled during the pandemic and really knocked Australian bodybuilding for a good couple of years there. And I think it's just nice to see guys like Sam Pearce and Aaron Polides, even Josh Gnartux last year at the Masters Olympia, coming back and competing from Australia, because there's a lot of good bodybuilders over there, and it's they really struggled. So it's nice to see him back, and I interviewed Aaron as well. He's a cool guy. Yeah, but I like his physique, very well put together, very, very, very sort of very good balance and symmetry. The conditions good, separation's good, conditions excellent. Yeah. So what do you think, Ron?
Yeah, he's condition when he's on. Like in New York, I thought his condition could have been maybe just a touch better because the 212s always bring the condition. You don't see the top 5 in the 212 division where anybody's missed their mark. Is this New York? This is New York right here. Yeah, he's going to be a first call out guy. There's no doubt in my mind. Beyond that, we'll see.
Yeah, I hope he makes top 5.
Yeah, I believe he will. Just looking for pictures. Yeah, you can see there. That's right. It probably wasn't an issue of conditioning. Like we said before, sometimes if you're a little bit flat, the muscles just don't push against the skin, and you don't see the full condition. I'm a real chest snob. I always want to see thicker chests.
I know. I always had such a terrible chest. I was very delt and tricep dominant, so I've always struggled to chest, Well,
you're the anti-Ron because I was always the chest dominant shit triceps. So if you had everything, you'd be Ronnie Coleman or Phil Heath, right?
Oh yeah, I'm certainly not one of them.
So this show, guys, it's happening Sunday, not Saturday. Sunday. They do things a little bit different up there. Great show. I wish I was going. I was there a few times. Ron Haché and his crew, very efficient. Canadians are so polite. Especially if you've been to a lot of East Coast shows, we're not as polite as the Canadians, I'll tell you that. So wishing everybody the best of luck. I know there's going to be a pay-per-view. Go to toprosupershow.com or Toe Pro Super Show on Instagram for the final information. I don't think we're going to be doing a watch party because there's not a free live stream. I only do watch parties if it's free, because then I'm not impinging on their pay-per-view and taking away views. I would never do that.
So Ron, if I put a gun to your head and I said Hassan, John Jewett, or Akim, who would you think's going to win if you were really, really pushed?
I'll go Akim.
Yeah, because I suppose statistically, I mean, he's been a top 6 Olympia guy. He was 9th twice. And he's kind of made a bit of a. I'm really happy that he's made that comeback of sorts, where he's come back to how good he's better than he was. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously the back issue and stuff like that, and it kind of ruined his back shots. But he's kind of coming back to kind of. You kind of want it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm erring more towards Hassan, but then John Jewett. We don't know what John Jewett's going to bring, because I think we're going to see a similar Akim or a similar. Hassan, but with John Jewett, he's probably going to bring something. We know he's going to bring something a little bit different this year. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see whether you get up there and you're just like, oh my God, it's like looking at Dorian Yates in an Olympia lineup. Do you know what I mean? When he was at his best, because he's kind of bringing that true detail and graininess. You can see he's leveled everything up. So I'm probably going to be probably going to flip flop a little bit, but we'll see.
I think that's your top 3 in no particular order: Hassan, John, and Akim.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if any of those 3 men wins. If Quinton can come in drastically fuller with condition, he could really shock and he could beat them all. I think he's got the potential.
I don't think he'll be top 3.
Okay, well, we'll see. We're gonna find out.
Sorry, Quint, but you could be there's someone who I think could be a bloody Mr. Olympia, but this time I don't know whether he's gonna be able to crack the top 3 here. Yeah.
And last thing, Quinton, if you could, I think Milos would be a great fit for him, because size is really what he needs. Chest and back, particularly.
Pull a Samson.
I mean, if you could speak directly to Quinton now as his, if he called you up and said, Giles, what should I do? Who should I go with? What do you tell him?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I would have advised him not to jump coaches after one show. I think that's jumping the gun a bit. I would have just stuck with Matt until they kind of figured it out, because you can try something with someone and it works really well with 9 out of 10 athletes of yours, and then you do it with that one athlete and it doesn't work, or something goes wrong, or and it can all go horribly wrong. So I don't know. I would have stuck with him. But if he wants to try a new coach, then why not Milos?
Yeah, well, we'll see what he does. I mean, I don't foresee him coaching himself indefinitely. I think he is going to go to another coach. It was just too soon to make that decision for Toronto.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I think he works well with coaches, and I think he is going to partner up with somebody. We'll see. To be determined.
So.
It'll be huge news when he announces a new coach. I'm sure it will. So I'll have to do a video. We'll talk about it. Anyway, happy belated birthday. It was Saturday. It's June 1st. Yeah, June 1st. Happy belated birthday to you and your sister.
Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you look fantastic. We're glad that the world has another year of Tiger. Yeah, it's a better place with you in the Tiger world.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Also, I honestly, man, I'm so sorry for being wishy-washy last week, but I was absolutely wiped out after that Wesley tour. Ronnie tour, it took about 3 days to kind of pull myself around, but the Wesley tour, my God, about a day and a half after the tour, after I got home, it was like I felt like hit by a truck. I just couldn't get off the sofa. I was absolutely exhausted. But I'm already working on 3, possibly 4 more tours with different people at the moment. So I'll be making quite a few announcements in the next couple of weeks. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, we'll keep you all updated on this show, of course, and on Giles's socials we'll have down in the description. So check those out. Thank you for taking the time, Giles. Always appreciate it. Guys, please, if you like these videos, support the channel. Subscribe, like, share, ring that notification bell. It doesn't cost you a darn thing. Really helps me grow the channel. Very happy to have Giles here. My old cohort for many years now. No one I'd rather do these previews and updates with than you, sir. You're the best. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching another episode of Power Hour with me and the one and only Giles Tiger Thomas. We will see you next time.